Greetings and welcome to Game a Movie Recap channel. Today we're about to take a deep dive into the story of a 2016 Canadian action film called Nitro Rush. In this movie, we follow the journey of Max, who's doing time for his involvement in the death of a police officer. As the film kicks off, Max discovers that his 17-year-old son Theo has been roped into a criminal organization. In a desperate bid to rescue him from this situation, Max makes a daring prison break. He soon learns that Theo and his best buddy, Charlie, have fallen under the spell of Daphne, a captivating but dangerous woman who's using their computer skills for a risky heist. Realizing he can't simply talk his son out of it, Max decides to join the team to protect them. Let's jump right into the storyline. But before we do, please show some love to our channel by subscribing and hitting that notification bell to keep up with our future content. Now, let's get this show on the road. The movie opens with a flashback to a rooftop party where people are using a banned drug called Nitro Rush, causing them to hallucinate and jump off the building in a euphoric state. In the next scene, we meet Max, a prisoner, who is exercising in the prison yard. He gazes at a photo of his son Theo and is informed that his father has come to visit. Max rushes to meet him, and his dad gives him a birthday gift, a book, and a recent photo of Theo. His father mentions that Theo hasn't been home and hasn't been in touch. Meanwhile, in a separate storyline, two young hackers, Charlie and Theo, are hacking an illegal laboratory while also involved in online fraud, attracting the attention of the police. The next day, news of their arrest made headlines. The reports indicated that only a man named Avocat, who happened to be their boss, was taken into custody. Meanwhile, Theo and Charlie were released under special supervision due to their age. Meg, having seen the news while making coffee, rushed to the police station to secure Theo's release. Upon their return home, he scolded Theo and offered advice, but Theo dismissed his words, arguing that his actions weren't as bad as his father's, who had spent decades in prison. He stormed into his room and slammed the door. Simultaneously, Max, still behind bars, was summoned by a police officer to meet someone in an upper room. He complied, handcuffed, and waited for the arrival of a woman, the police director, who showed him a photo of Avocat. Max recognized him as the man responsible for selling illegal organs to Max's wife, whose operation had tragically failed, leading to her death. She produced a bottle containing a new illegal substance known as Nitro Rush. Ingesting this substance would cause the person to experience vivid fantasies of having wings. The distribution of this dangerous drug was still a mystery, but the police suspected Avocat and his associates' involvement. What complicated matters was that Avocat, the prime suspect, was already incarcerated. Learning that his son Theo had joined Avocat's gang and seeing Theo's arrest photo, Max reluctantly agreed to help. Filled with emotions, Max confronted Avocat, who was in the same prison. A physical altercation ensued as Max delivered a warning to Avocat to keep his son out of illegal activities. When a police officer tried to intervene, Max took him hostage to facilitate his escape. He managed to evade the pursuing officers by leaping from the prison roof and later commandeered a police car, heading straight to his father's house to find Theo. Upon returning home, Max immediately inquired about Theo's whereabouts. However, their search of Theo's room yielded no results. The next day, Max's father drove him to Theo's workplace, and as Max discreetly scoped out the building, a black car pulled up. A woman emerged from the car, along with Theo and one of his friends, entering the building swiftly. Max attempted to gain access, but someone inside unlatched the door, catching him. He was confronted by a man named Cullis, who recognized Max's criminal past and blocked his entry, fearing police presence. Undeterred, Max sought another entrance but was intercepted by a woman named Daphne, who had arrived with Theo in the black car. Daphne soon realized Max was Theo's father and advised him that it wasn't the right moment to meet him. Ignoring her, Max ventured inside to find Theo, who was upset, believing his mother's death was Max's fault. Disheartened, Theo demanded that Max leave and then went to see Daphne. She offered to facilitate a reunion between Theo and his father, but on the condition that Max joined their group. Accepting the offer, Max was taken to Daphne's residence, where Theo resided. Max invited Theo to drive Hubert's sports car, but their relationship, which had been improving, soured once more. Theo recalled the past when Max had failed to care for his mother. Max countered, stating he was willing to give his life for her. He then advised Theo to distance himself from Daphne, asserting she was merely toying with him. Unconcerned, Theo left. Unbeknownst to Max and Theo, Cullis had recorded their conversation and sent the video to Avocat. He instructed Cullis to keep an eye on them. Late at night, Max couldn't sleep and Daphne visited, teasing him and implying that he couldn't sleep due to his desires. Max declined her advances, knowing that his son had feelings for Daphne. Unbeknownst to them, Theo watched them on the CCTV monitor, feeling disappointed as the woman he loved appeared closer to his father. The next day, they prepared to head to the lab. As they were preparing to depart, Cullis appeared to sample the Nitro Rush substance. Upon reaching the forest, they decided to leave Cullis and Charlie behind to watch over the car. Meanwhile, Max, Theo, and Daphne ventured towards the lab. Simultaneously, the two scientists, Chemistic and Resin, exited the lab in search of breakfast. Max successfully infiltrated the lab using a zip line, reaching the roof. Unfortunately, when Theo attempted to follow, his cell phone slipped, forcing him to retrieve it. Recognizing the danger, Max urged him to leave the phone behind. Once inside the lab, Theo promptly transferred the data from the scientist's computer to his flash drive. Meanwhile, Cullis, influenced by the effects of Nitro Rush, acted recklessly by driving his car toward the lab. A concerned Charlie promptly informed Daphne, revealing Cullis's dangerous approach. They swiftly made their escape, but Cullis's reckless actions alerted the scientists to the intrusion into their lab. The scientists hurried back to the lab, while Cullis arrived and demanded the concoction from Daphne. Soon after, the scientists launched a gunfire attack on them. Max instructed everyone to get into the car, and he sped away from the scene, with the scientists in pursuit. With Max's expert driving skills, they managed to eventually elude their pursuers and reach Max's father's house. The scientists returned to their lab, only to discover that Max and his team had absconded with their Nitro Rush concoction. They'd also stumbled upon Theo's dropped cell phone, which allowed them to track the group's location. Max and his team reached Meg's house, and Cullis contacted Avocat through a video call, informing him that the Nitro Rush concoction had been stolen. Avocat demanded Daphne hand over the flash drive containing the formula, but she refused. Avocat threatened to kill Theo if she didn't comply, but Theo had secretly changed the flash drive's password. Unable to carry out his threat, Avocat ordered Cullis to eliminate Daphne, deeming her useless. However, before he could attack her, the scientists who had tracked their location arrived and began attacking Meg's house with rifles. Max fought back, breaking through the door and engaging them. Daphne intervened, hitting one of the scientists with her bare hand, while Max overcame the other, rendering him unable to fight back. As Daphne was cornered and strangled by one of the scientists, she managed to find a rifle and, with Max's instruction, shot the scientist in the leg to immobilize him. In the process, Daphne sustained injuries and eventually fell unconscious. Suddenly, the police arrived at Meg's house via helicopter, aiding Daphne and apprehending all the criminals. Max revealed to Theo that this was all part of a plan, from his prison escape to the theft of the Nitro Rush formula, approved by the police president at his former prison. The purpose was to benefit the police and guide Theo away from the wrong path. Max urged Theo to hand over the flash drive to the police, but Theo disclosed that he had never copied the Nitro Rush formula. Instead, he had deleted it directly from the scientists' computers in the forest to ensure its secrecy. Max eventually returned to prison, and the police director informed him that his family's identity had been exposed once again, entrusting him with their protection. Max agreed, and the film concluded. The film's moral underscores that parents, no matter their flaws, are willing to make great sacrifices for their families, and we shouldn't judge them without understanding the struggles they face in protecting their loved ones. We're excited to hear your thoughts on the movie. Are you looking forward to how the story unfolds? Do you have any predictions on how it might conclude? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this summary, please show your support by liking it, subscribing for more content, and sharing it with your friends and family. Be sure to explore our channel for more movie summaries tailored to your preferences, and enable notifications so you won't miss our upcoming videos. That's it for now. Thank you for being with us, and we can't wait to have you in our next one.